Chapter 7. This is part 10 and hopefully the last chapter, so let's just get going now. Enough talking about it. We are here at the end game, so we are going to go ahead and progress as normal, picking up things along the way. It's going to be a huge combat section, so just get ready for some crazy shit. You know what? We actually want to take the bombs too. Be getting shit right now. Yeah, like I said, it won't take long to get rid of this ammo. You just gotta bear with it for like a few seconds. Let's definitely grab the remote bombs. They're actually pretty useful still. And we will replace the revolver for now. Okay. Let's see here, what else can we bring? Just refill that real quick. Alright. The name of the game in this chapter is Go Loud. Yeah, you can see the molded are definitely come into play. Liking these guys not popping their heads this time around. They're just tanking shots. Not sure how I feel about that, guys. You could just take one shot and be done. What's in here? I mean, sure, why not? Just have one on us, I guess. See, I hate when this happens, because then I have to go back and dump this stuff, because I don't need it. This is what's going to make me have to do 2 parts to this. Make sure that I grab that magnum in there too. Yeah, I did, okay. What else did I grab? Hope that was it. It is. already see some trouble here, right? I don't even bother picking up anything else, to be honest. It's not really going to help me. Oh, shit. Definitely don't want to run into shit like that when we haven't been doing it at all. But you can kind of guide them around and, you know, get some easy cheapo hits on them. It's just not an ammo type I'm using right now. I'm not going to use. They're giving us some incredible shit too. Look at that hidden mag ammo. Crazy. I wasn't even gonna look in there too. Damn, bro. And they're pulling out all the horror tropes right now, right? Oh, you know what? I think if you're fast enough, you can actually push this minecart into them. I kind of forget about this. Like the ending part, I don't remember much about the mines here. Okay. Then up here, you'll see your 19th Mr. Everywhere. One more to go. And that's wild. Really waiting for a chem fluid though. A chem fluid drop so we can create something. I really did forget about that, so I'm glad I shot it. Okay. A little bit as a safety spot here. I think we can hold infinite herbs, or up to 5 or something like that. Okay, here's a lot of reading. Sent Friday, January 16th, 2015, 12:42 a.m. Thanks to you guys, it's been about a week since my head's been clear and back to normal, and she still thinks she's got me. You guys really need to work on fixing that. Not only does she look like a little kid, but she's about to be as stupid as one, too. Mom and dad are totally under, though. I was wondering, is this whole family obsession something you guys programmed into her? It's kind of fucked up. Sent Friday, November 4th, 2015, 2:10 a.m. That bitch Mia is still somewhere in between Evie La La Land and reality. She gets pretty violent, so I locked her up in the cell. I thought maybe Eveline would get mad since Mia's her favorite and all, but she doesn't seem to care. She actually goes and visits her sometimes. She thinks Mia's her mommy. Like I said, your bioweapon is fucked up. Sent Friday, September 1st, 2016, 1:10 a.m. Evelyn's family obsession is getting out of hand. She's making everyone kidnap more and more assholes off the street to add her a freak show of a family. Maybe she's getting tired of Mia not coming around. But it's a pain in the ass for me because I got to clean up the mess whenever someone new comes along. By the way, Evie's looking sick or something. Her skin's getting all wrinkly, and she's getting gray hairs. Is that supposed to happen? It's almost like she's getting old all of a sudden. These are really worth a read. Like, any file in any Resident Evil game is always worth a read. So yes, there you go. There is the final steroids. They are really, really fucking hidden if you're not paying attention. So pick those up, and then I would just straight up use it. And that's it. You're strong as hell. So now you should have 4 steroids and then 2 stabilizers. We're sitting at files obtained as 2832, and then 1 more Mr. Everywhere, along with all antique coins collected. This report details the symptoms that appear when the bacterium that grows inside of the E-Series infects a human. Be sure to read this document thoroughly before dealing with E-Series weaponized assets, hereafter referred to as mold. Initial infection, the mold ingests nutrients from the subject's body to propagate itself and slowly take over cells within the body. As a side effect of this, the infected subject gains remarkable regenerative abilities. During experiments, we removed arms and legs from test subjects and found that they were able to co-opt the amputated limbs in a matter of minutes. Mid-stage infection. Once the mold reaches the brain, the subject's thoughts become in tune with those of the E-Series asset. The subject starts to hear things and experience hallucinations, and soon comes under the complete control of the E-Series asset. If this state continues, the host will lose all senses of ego. Complete infection. After every cell in the body has been taken over by the mold, the subject begins to lose their human form. Physical mutations differ from case to case, but all result in him or her acquiring incredible physical strength. Containing a subject at this stage would be extremely difficult. Okay. I'm telling you, it's worth a read. This is good shit right now. "10 minutes after dose. Death. 12 minutes after dose. Cell qualification. E. Necrotoxin E-Series dosage test. 5 minutes after dose. Vomiting. The fuck, right? Crazy shit, dude. E-necrotoxin destroys cells of any subject based on E-Series bioweapon model. Used only for disposal of E-Series assets. The toxin must be first stimulated before use. Do this by placing a sample of E-Series cells into the necrotoxin container. Ethan is a scientist. E-necrotoxin, a special serum for disposing of E-Series test subjects. It could destroy Eveline if injected into her. Very cool. I wonder if that counts. It did. This project was instigated in 2000 as one of the several concepts of the company's next Next Generation Experimental Battlefield Superiority Initiative, working with technical assistance from HCF to develop a bioweapon for neutralizing combatants en masse with minimal direct contact. NextBAS was later folded and all of its assets diverted to this project. What makes this project markedly different from conventional weapons is its ability to turn enemy combatants into allies, converting hostile elements into willing servants. Since this effectively eliminates the cost of not only POW handling, but also combat itself, it's no wonder we had and even organizations chomping at the bit to get on board. The project would never have existed were it not for the discovery of the remarkably progressed vibrant evolution fungus that we commonly term the mutamycete. The fabrication method for each bioweapon was introduced the mutamycete genome to a pre-stage for human embryo and perform cultivation in controlled environment over a period of 38 to 40 weeks. The resultant organisms were referred to as candidate specimens and graded based on usability and from the impractical and faulty series A through D. The perfected E series, a common appearance, was selected for bioweapons that are roughly 10-year-old girl to ensure ease of blending in with urban/refugee populations. The first E-series specimen, named Eveline, has proven capable of secreting the mutamycete from her tissue at will. It is also of note that Eveline's mutamycete imposes a profound control over body and mind when introduced into a host organism. We still have a lot to learn about the mechanism by which Eveline achieves and maintains this control, but the working theory is that the vector is similar to the autoinducer pheromones used to quorum sensing in Pseudomonas bacteria. Eveline's control is exerted in series of discrete stages, the first of which is hallucination. Almost immediately after infection, the subject begins to see images of Eveline, though she is not in fact there, and even hear her voice, which is inaudible to anyone else. Auditions with infected subjects throughout the stages of infection reveal that at first, the phantom Eveline appears to be a normal young girl, sometimes desiring companionship or assistance. As time progresses, she begins making more and more extreme demands, including self-mutilation and attacks on other people. The psychological shock this induces helps to break down the mind's natural barriers to Eveline's brainwashing effect. And by the time mental control is achieved, the mutamycete infection has progressed throughout the body cells, so the body blanks. And that is such a good fucking note. Like, so good right there. Just straight up tells you what this is all about. Another confidential report. The devil is in the details. Popped in a trophy for reading every single file. And I got a new milestone. Trophy level up, 380. Eveline's functions also include the ability to form organisms from mycelia, the fungal filaments. The term organism is used loosely here. Strictly speaking, they are superorganisms formed of countless mycelia. What's important, though, is that they exhibit a strong survival instinct and will defend themselves ferociously and with the slightest provocation. Their fungal toughness and remarkable strength give them significant battlefield potential. The researchers have been calling these superorganisms the molded. Made of mold and also molded as in shaped. The name has a certain elegance to it. For the treatment of accidental infections, performing on samples of Eveline's body tissues produce a unique fungicidal serum. Administering the serum to an infected subject will cause the mycelia to calcify, but if the subject's cells are already largely invaded, the serum will be fatal. Since the treatment window is so small, the serum's primary use is therefore disposal of infected subjects rather than a cure. In exploring the serum's potential, we found that subjecting it to would enhance its effects to extreme potency, becoming a compound we now call E-necrotoxin, which in even tiny amounts. What's been interesting to observe in Eveline's behavior is her obsession with the concept of family. In experts we found on multiple In experiments we found on multiple occasions that infected subjects were compelled to act as her mother or father, treating her as if she was really their daughter. Why did she settle upon family as the theme for her mental control? This is just speculation, but it could be that she instinctively understands that a family unit is better suited to blending into social groups than a lone girl. On the other hand, well, a sentimental sort might suggest that she's making up for a perceived lack of love in her quarantined upbringing, a parent's love. It is just, Eveline, the E series, the whole thing, man. They did so fucking good, so good. Okay, but enough gushing about this thing. So we get a new round here. Powerful poison that can affect the nervous system. So, if you want that, that's completely up to you. I would go for your Magnum now. Let's give this thing some love because this is the only love it's going to really get from here. Yeah, so reading those notes really set us up for Village. If, like, you know, you were doing a rerun and you were playing this game again beforehand, then a lot of things in Village start to make a lot of fucking sense. And we will cover that once we get over to Village, which I'm also extremely excited for. Being that I think it's probably in my top 3 favorite Resident Evil games of all time. Then you can switch out for your heaviest hitting weapons now. Honestly, there's really nothing else to carry her anymore, so just having the Magnum alone kind of beat the game, you know. I do think there's a little bit of here, though. Oh, that's a nice little secret there. I never knew about those. This game has so many hidden fucking things, man. Jesus. I probably missed a few, too. Right. Never fucking mind. This is the super actiony part that I was talking about. I don't know what the fuck is that. Here we go, big time. Everything you've done, all of it matters now. Oh, that's some bullshit, dude. Come on, Ethan. Oh, I knew it was gonna miss. Yep. So there you go. There was your final big boss fight of the game. And I wouldn't even really consider what's going to happen after this to be a boss fight. So, yeah, you can just kind of chalk that one up to the grinder and say that was it. That was your big moment. We used every thing, and we still only just got one of them down. So, yeah, I mean, we could have probably did better with headshots, you know, for sure, on getting the critical kills. But, I mean, to be honest, not really really concerned with that kind of thing. I mean, you can run past them too, but it's really hard because they will shoot the fucking jet stream of bullshit at you. But, I mean, that is it. That was your huge moment. The molded in the caves, very, very good. And I love how they give us a map at the end. Like, that is just, if I've ever seen a bigger what in the hell situation there, it was definitely that. Okay. Right, we should be good. So we see the wheelchair. We've been seeing the entire game. No grandma though, right? Eveline doll. There it is. Your final one. Go ahead and just, let's see, take him out. Bink. And then that's it. You have gotten every single one of those guys at this point.
I'm sure I did. It's not here. It's gone. It's gone.
Okay, there, if we remember at the very beginning of the game, we got the E001 picture with the picture of the old lady. So then we read all the notes, so we were like, oh, shit, the grandma was Eveline the whole fucking time, right? Very big twist in the story. Unless you were paying attention the whole time. And then Mia was actually correct. There was a door. We were just seeing things, you know, that we were meant to see. And she's completely lost it at that point. So it's like, yep, there was a door. But we were never going to leave on our terms. And then a full circle moment here. Back to the very beginning of the game, right?
This is your boat.
Why am I seeing this?
Yeah, so if you're trying to go back, they blocked everything. So that's it, right?
Ethan, it's okay. It's okay, it's me. I know you didn't mean to hurt me.
Kill him, Mommy.
But you shouldn't have done that! It fucking hurts!
Does it want to be my daddy? Then he can die. Now it's Mommy's turn to kill you.
Like I said, full circle moment.
You're gonna be one of us. And then maybe you'll play nicely.
I'm not playing.
No! Get that away from me!
Leave me to die!
I was like, I don't think you take damage from that, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Then we get an even bigger Eveline doll. Crazy shit, right? And there's Eveline.
Get away!
You can actually take damage here, so you just kind of want to run doing this. Block when she does this huge, like, shockwave thing, and just keep going straight towards her.
Away from me! Stop! 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 No! 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 No!
You.
Why does everyone hate me?
This is fucking crazy shit right here. Damn, I can't even get a reload off.
I just wanted a family.
That fall would fucking hurt.
Get on it.
They say that when one door closes, another opens. Well, a door closed tonight. And what a long night it was. But not just for me. Me and I weren't the only victims here. So were the Bakers. It was that thing, Eveline, who made them that way. But now Eveline's dead. And these guys are here to clean up the mess. I had just come to terms with losing me. And now she's back and wants to start over. Put all this behind us. Maybe this is where the next door opens.
And then round of fucking applause, man. Jesus.
Go tell Aunt Rhodey. Go tell Aunt Rhodey. Go tell Aunt
I think I'll just let this play out.
Everybody's dead. I was raised in a deep, dark hole. A prisoner with no parole. They locked me up and took
Yeah, shout out to every single person involved in this one. This was a masterclass of survival horror.
tell that roadie. Go tell that roadie. Go tell and roadie that everybody's
The Holy Bible.
called to him and he will come.
And I think we'll have a pretty quick afterthoughts once this little stuff plays out. Because I don't want to have very much to say like I did about the other games, because this one was kind of a brand new experience for the next gen, you know? That was really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and skip all this stuff. Okay, so final tally here. Difficulty was normal. We completed the game in under 8 hours. 0 restarts, meaning I never took a death or got caught in any of the videos or anything like that. 20 out of 20 Mr. Everywhere is destroyed. All antique coins have been found. All files were obtained. These two things don't really matter. There's only 2 stabilizers in the entire game, along with 4 steroids. So we found every single thing that you can find, collectible-wise, in Resident Evil 7. Item Secrets of Defense will be added to the item box. Okay. So, I mean, like, where do we even unpack with this game, right? Resident Evil 7, 2017, changed the formula for Resi games, you know, for as much as we've ever experienced them. Because the best Resident Evil game prior to Resi 7 coming out was 4. Like, original 4. You know, 5 had, like, niche with the co-op mode. 6 just never caught on with everybody. So they were starting to kind of lose track and lose their way with it just a little bit. Where 5 was, like, really action-heavy with Chris and Sheva. And then 6 was just a 3-story bonanza. I really didn't mind 6. Like, I wouldn't mind replaying it and just kind of re-experience, like, what the hell was actually going on in that game. Because it's actually not that bad of a game. It's just, I don't think the story or whatever was kind of going in the direction that fans would want to have seen. So, especially involving, like, all of our major characters and heroes that we've come to know up to this point. And then to include, you know, we've had Revelations come out and all sorts of stuff's happening here. So, you know, there's a lot of Resident Evil to cover. There's a lot of things still to do yet. But, you know, right now we're on 7 and just completing the 2, 3, and 4 remakes. None of those happened without 7. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if nobody agrees with me. 7 saved the fucking franchise, because before, I'm telling you right now, we went so long without a Resident Evil game that even, like, was close to the level of 4 or 2 or maybe even 3, or even, you know, remake of 1 on the GameCube and all that kind of stuff, that it took a while, you know. And 7 changed the formula. They went first-person camera. We weren't even given a thought about what in the hell was happening to this guy named Ethan. He's missing his wife. Caught a hint, an email from her saying, come get her from this place. And then all hell broke loose the entire time we were in that place, just to only find out that the family that resided in there was basically just infected with a parasite, mold, fungal infection, due to a bioweapon named Eveline, created by a different corporation that's not Umbrella. And, the wife of Ethan Winters, Mia, was involved in that group, and in the construction of the Eveline project. So it was really interesting to see how, like, Mia kind of played out in the story, giving her, like, ties to, like, the secret organization or whatever that was producing bioweapons and stuff like that. And for some reason, she just, however they met, whatever, you know what I mean? And she's wanting to keep a married life, knowing that she is pure evil, is insane to me. Like, not really an arc of, maybe she had regrets, maybe she didn't really want to get involved with it, or Ethan's just got all the riz in the world. I have no idea, like, why somebody of like that, who knows that she's in a very dangerous capacity, would have any time to be a wife or, anything like that. So I don't know. To me, that part is still weird to me on this day. And in Village, Village is different, right? Where 7 was all about survival horror, back to the roots of what made Resident fucking Evil. 8 still maintains the horror element, but I would say that it's a lot more action heavy compared to the Ethan that we had here. Because the Ethan that we got here was just a regular guy looking for his wife, like I said, and knowing just the basic functions of how to defend himself with weapons and stuff like that. Ethan turns into a fucking like a trained killer in 8, And we're going to see the difference there. But yeah, as far as I know, Ethan's just a regular guy, just obviously he has a little bit of like shooting experience and stuff like that. So he was able to kind of maintain and handle weapons on his own. Really nice detail when he kept his finger off the trigger weld, really, really nice on that. Until he like aimed at something and shot it, obviously. But I don't really know what to say. I got such limited time to talk about it. But just the idea, the idea of what they did to kind of bring the franchise back to life. I love the first person camera. I think it was insane that this was even a Resident Evil game to begin with. And it's a different story, right? It's no longer zombies. It hasn't been zombies since 4. It's not really a parasite either. We're talking about a fungal thing that was implanted into, an embryo or whatever, and produced as a little girl to kind of meet that company's needs of, like, if our bioweapon's gonna be a bioweapon, then it can't just be like a big ugly monster, because we've seen what happens with Umbrella Corporation and stuff like that, who have been trying to do these things and it's not working out. So just kind of insert them as little girls and nobody would bat an eye. They'd just be like, oh, it's just a normal little girl. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're a fucking mold man, And to top it, the enemy variety in this game wasn't like a lot, right? Like, we only had 3 forms of molded. And then, the boss fights, every single boss fight was a fucking spectacle, And if you want to count the bugs as enemies too, then yes. But, let's be honest, they're just fucking bugs. So, yeah, the boss fights were just super horrifying, terrifying. Jack Baker set the precedence of what we know today as the Mr. X, the Nemesis. 4 had a little bit of chase sequence here and there. But, man, Jack Baker, he kind of got the game started, right? Like, he was terrifying. You had a small hallway to run away from him, a couple of areas to kind of peek around a couch and be like, dude, where is this dude at? And he's just beating your ass with a shovel. You know, it's insane. The first time I played this game, I want to say I died to Baker like 3 times in the beginning, and I was like, I don't know if I can fucking play this because I don't understand what's going on, let alone dying to Mia another 3 fucking times, because you're just like, dude, what do you do here? You know, the gameplay, the shooting and everything, it's so good. I mean, like, you know, it's kind of how you would think, like how you would handle yourself in a real situation like that. You know, they went with a blocking thing to kind of reduce the damage, and we saw like how very close I was to death in one of the episodes with Mia. Like, if you don't block, you're taking full 100% damage. It'll only take those mold dudes like maybe 3 or 4 shots, depending on your steroid use, like, to kill you pretty quickly. But if you block, you can literally like last 10 to 11 hits before you're actually like in super need of healing. So yeah, blocking would, like, it's become a thing, right? Like, they've really put the onus on defensive tactics in these Resident Evil games, where it used to be like, you just don't run into their hitbox, you won't get bit or whatever, you know. One remake kind of started the whole defensive item thing with like being able to shove a hand grenade or, you know, flashbang or something, or a knife in the damn zombie's head, push it away from you to prevent damage. And then it just, ever since then, it's been upgraded, you know. 2 remake kind of did the same exact thing. 3 remake, same exact thing. 4 remake was all about the knife, like deflecting everything. You had to parry thrown hatchets. You had to parry when they would attack you. You could parry boss moves, all sorts of stuff, you know. So like, the way that they've been setting up the way that you've been doing defense in these games is incredible. And Ethan's is just straight up just a regular block. Like, you put your hands in front of you to block the damage, you know. In real life, there's no fucking way. But, you know, that's just how it works. And then in Village, it's even more evident. Like, you will have to put your hands in front of your face, otherwise you're going to die so fucking much. But yeah, I mean, shout out to this whole game. Like, I'm so happy that I came back to it after all these years. Still remembered a lot of things. I mean, even like went back and got trophies for things that I might have missed or something like that, like with the antique coins, you know, because the very first one I missed was obviously everyone that everyone misses is in the video, you know, because you have to look down and be like, oh, there's a lockpick, and then retroactively open a lock and do all this. Just obviously you're not going to ever think about that. But prior to that, my experience with 7 was only just that one playthrough, and then I mean, I just never really wanted to touch it again. Like, I played Madhouse mode, and I mean, it was like kind of a forgettable experience because it was kind of miserable, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, the Baker family, they are very, very awesome Resident Evil like villains. Even though they weren't really villains, it's just, you know, the way that they were portrayed here, they are really good. Jack was fantastic. Marguerite was absolutely fucking terrifying. Lucas was a little, you know, weirdo, but I mean, he had his moments. They had like the best things that they could pick out of all the Resident Evil games, and they put it all into one, you know. You had the backtracking, you had treasures, you had you know, the terrifying jump scares, the enemies that pop at it anywhere, the chase sequences. You know, Lucas's section was an entire puzzle, and then there was a combat arena with it bigger molded, and I mean, this whole thing, right? And then you finally like culminated all that into like a huge section where you were just running through a tunnel full of molded and using everything that you learned and, you know, gathered up to that point to destroy these suckers. And it was just so good, you know. And then to finally come through it in the end and be like, damn, I was given the hint at the beginning of the game with a picture that the old lady was Eveline the entire time. You put the needle in her neck, you inject her, and then you just have that giant freak show of a thing pop from the house. So good, right? And then Chris Redfield showing up there at the end. There's a DLC for him in the extra content. And like I said, my plan is to finish all of the baseline Resident Evil games that I personally want to do for the channel. And I will consider like the older titles at some point. I'm just not sure because I want to bring like the newer stuff, the more, you know, sexier looking games, I guess, to the channel first before I bring out that old crap, because it's not going to really do that well, right? But then eventually when that's done, then I'll go ahead and play through all the DLCs for the Resident Evil games that I want to do that are more story related, not really those challenge modes, because I'm not really into that kind of stuff. You know, like on a personal level, I'll do it on my own, but for videos, it's kind of like meh, right? But anyway, so Resident Evil 7, fantastic game. Really love being back here. And I cannot wait till we get to Village, because Village is the next game on the list. And then after that, we're just going to have to start kind of figuring out what may come next from here on out. So, thanks for watching. The series is complete with Resi 7 for now, and then we will get to the extra content and actually take a deep dive into what these are all about, because I'm actually really excited. I've never played the extra content in my life, and I'm ready to kind of jump into what the hell is actually going to happen with it. So I'll see you in Resident Evil Village, where we can wrap up the Ethan Winter story. Thanks for watching.